Everybody knows how hard it is to obtain a spot in the OSU World Cup, and with that comes the pressure to perform and to maintain the level of skill needed to compete against the very best. And then there's Zyntex.
What?
How have you been preparing for the Oceanic Cup?
Yeah, I mean, preparation's important. I've been trying to stay consistent, play every day.
Are you confident going to the tournament?
I mean, I'd say I'm pretty confident, aiming for a top 3 finish.
Jokes aside, Zyntex is actually a very strong contender in this tournament, having recently placed Seed 5 in the qualifiers.
You got the right guy? Why didn't you play in OWC 2025?
I had to focus on my final exams and studies, and even if I wanted to play, I think my parents would just gank me mid-match.
What made you decide to compete again this year?
I mean, I always wanted to compete. It was just, the only reason I didn't compete is because I couldn't. But whenever I can, I will compete.
What's one thing you think people underestimate about you as a player?
I think nowadays, I'm a lot more consistent. I mean, you'd see me back in OWC 2024, I'd have some of these good scores every now and then other days I'd drop like a 200k when I'd have a 600k local. But I think you won't be seeing any of that this year. It's just straight 500ks plus from here on out. Trust me, mark my words.
Do you have any goals for OWC 2026?
The most obvious one is win OWC, maybe get top 50, and just chill and enjoy the game, as I always have been.
Good boy.
Thank you.
Yo, you can't.
We asked Zyntex what other talents he has other than Osu, and he showed us this.
Hey, you're pretty talented for a dumbass. Oh!
Hello everybody. Welcome back to the Oceanic Cup. We've got a few bangers in store for you here today. 3 of them, to be precise. All of them on the Sunday, and I'm very excited to get into them. Our first one is going to be potentially the match of the week, and it's going to be Zyntex versus Maybell, also known formerly as Treyarch. So this should be an incredible match on paper. I'm expecting it to be very close. I'm Mavs, and joined again this weekend by Vordy. Vordy, we just talked about this one. Yeah, potential to be really close, as I was saying. I don't know, like, who are you thinking this one favors going into it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think out of all of the matchups this weekend and of the ones left, I think Paolo versus Clubber is also going to be an absolutely fantastic close matchup in the winner's bracket. But this one is the matchup I had my eyes on. You have Seed 4 Treyarch, now Maybell, up against Seed 5 Zyntex. 2 extremely well-rounded players for the most part. I think they'll be able to play almost everything in this pool. They're both very, very good players. The star rating shouldn't really phase them. As far as, you asked me, who do I favor? I'm going to give, like, slight odds in my mind to Zyntex. When we did the predictions, I put Zyntex 3rd. I originally, in my original sketch, had Maybell 4th, but I ended up moving him down to 5th. But I could see either player taking this matchup. It's really going to come down to who is feeling better today. So hard to predict. I just think we're going to see some great overall gameplay.
Yeah, should be a really good match no matter what. I think prior to watching Zyntex play that 3WC match against Canada, I would have had Treyarch here. Probably like slight odds on Treyarch, but after that match, I now think I would agree on the slight odds here on Zyntex. But it really comes down to how they play on the day. And that is really going to be the big factor here, because in terms of what they have to pick and ban here, I don't think there's anything super obvious. But here we see some bans come out already. First ban, is that Zyntex banning Hard Rock 1? Actually, getting rid of the robot stop, and then Treyarch going for the Hidden 2 ban?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about bans beforehand. I think this Hidden 2 ban from Treyarch is pretty expected. Massive advantage for Zyntex on the Hidden 2 in qualifiers. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm a little bit surprised to see the Hard Rock 1 ban from Zyntex, partially because of how great of a Hard Rock player he is. But at the same time, that kind of uber consistency map over 5 minutes, I believe Treyarch has been grinding the Hard Rock again recently. That is the type of Hard Rock, like that's a Treyarch Hard Rock. And Zyntex also banning out the Hard Rock too, so really, really respecting Treyarch's ability on Hard Rock right now, as Treyarch also banning out that DT2, another map we were talking about, maybe banning some of Zintex's tapping. So expected bans for Treyarch, I would say. Pretty surprised to see Zyntex double ban Hard Rock, but maybe he's just feeling really good on everything else.
Yeah, I think this is definitely got to be like a map pool thing, because Zyntex is one of Australia's best Hard Rock players, just period. Very, very strong on Hard Rock. I mean, number 1 on the Hard Rock 1 out of qualifiers, number 7 and 8 on the other 2 maps. Very surprising, but of course, like, Treyarch's really good on Hard Rock as well. So, as you know, number 3 on one of the Hard Rock maps in qualies, number 8 on the other 2. I think just probably a map pool thing, very dependent on how the maps go. Like you were saying with the Robot Stop, that Hard Rock 1, that's not your normal sort of Hard Rock 1 you see. Very, very long map. It's basically like a tiebreaker slapped in a Hard Rock 1 slot. So that makes sense. Just maybe not feeling it on the Precision map this week in specific. So I guess it can make sense, respecting Treyarch's Hard Rock. The 2 bans from Treyarch, though, make a lot of sense. And we see the first pick come out. No Mod 4 Tech. Treyarch, bread and butter. The GOAT on this kind of stuff. And here we go. Definitely expecting, I think, Treyarch to take his first pick here. But Zyntex has been very good on these kinds of maps recently as well.
Yeah, I think something worth noting as we go forward with both of these players' picks is obviously, like, this Nomad 4 on paper, you certainly have Treyarch as the favorite, but both of them are going to be really good on either of their opponent's picks in most cases. So I think it's always going to be close, but Nomad 4 here in the introduction, neither player finding any struggle. Zyntex holding on to that SS. Accuracy always tells a nice picture of how comfortable you are in Nomad 4, and both players are very comfortable. And it's really going to come down to the first break.
Yeah, don't really want to see any breaks too early on in this map. Starts to kind of slowly warm up into things. And as I say that, there goes Treyarch before we even get into like the cut stream sections. Does find a miss, but so does Zyntex actually. There's the trade. So moving into the cut streams here shortly as both players get a reset. We have a clean slate, 3,000 score difference. And here we go. We get into the real meat of the map. We'll see if any of these cut patterns are going to catch the players off guard. Definitely a lot of control required here. Like streams like that, both players resetting. Very, very difficult to get through. And again, a clean slate, but ACK lead in favor of Treyarch very slightly in the tail end of this KI.
It's interesting to see both of those breaks happening at the same time, which, as you said, just evens out the map completely. And it is just that accuracy that is favoring Treyarch as we're rounding out the second half of the map. And I think a big part of it is mental. I wouldn't be surprised if for both of these players they're feeling like they're kind of maybe even low rolling a little bit. You have to, you know, stay in check. Either player could win it right now as Treyarch finds another break, and this time Zyntex hasn't instantly traded. Now how long can he go as Treyarch finds another miss? He's lost that accuracy lead. Zyntex now has the score lead, and man, if he can hold this on for a little bit longer, it might just be wraps for Treyarch's first pick.
Yeah, it was already looking like you said, a bit of a low roll for both players, but after these several misses from Treyarch, Zyntex does miss there, but it's a 40k lead, and Treyarch just kind of kept missing in this ending. Doesn't really have anything to steal it back. There would have been a chance with Zintex's miss there, but maybe there's still a chance, but it's going to require Zyntex to miss again here, like pretty much right now, and potentially get a few more misses, and he does miss. So score will start to slowly go back to Treyarch, but not with that miss. That is going to seal it up. Unfortunately, for Treyarch, it will be break point to Zyntex to kick things off on the No Mod 4. I think, like you said, 40, potentially a little bit of a low roll for both of these players. I would expect locals probably higher for both of them on this map.
Yeah, there's still a lot of struggles on holding on to any notable combo after that intro as well. So recoveries were struggling. And that is going to be a big opening for Zyntex as he has that break point and the first pick. Treyarch saying wouldn't be a no more 4 without 400, blank misses. But okay, Zyntex now has the pick, and I wouldn't be surprised here. Does he want to go for tapping? You have a lot of tapping options. I would maybe be more hesitant on something like the Nomad 2, but if he's feeling the high BPM, you have DT3 there at 300 BPM, you have Nomad 5 for the more traditional speed. Otherwise, could certainly just lean into that DT1 or DT4. DT4 especially that's the kind of map where if you can play it, you should probably just pick it since not many people can, but goes for the reading. So Hidden 2, banned from Treyarch, Nomad 6 left open, the AR8 Nomad, the only AR8 map of the pool. And I'm curious to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, I'm almost interested that Treyarch opted to ban Hidden 2 being AR9 over this Nomad 6. Potentially just the slight extra bit of comfort on reading low AR on Nomad, potentially, which I know is definitely a factor for some players. So, makes sense for Zyntex to go for this one as a first pick. It's really good when you breakpoint your opponent off rip to consolidate that and get a 2-0 lead. I think it puts you in a really good position. It lets you feel like, hey, I can still throw one of my picks. I can, mess up, low roll a map, and it's okay because you have that breakpoint lead going forward. So it makes sense, but yeah, I think I'd definitely favor Zyntex going forward on this one. But again, both these players can kind of play everything, so Treyarch's definitely got a shot at this one as well.
Yeah, interesting thing to note with this pick by Zyntex in Treyarch's matchup versus Psyche. I think that entire time, I think you were one of the commentators for that matchup. Everybody was like, oh yeah, Treyarch should just pick the low AR that's open. I think it was the Nomad 6 in that weak pool as well. And he just never picked it against Psyche, which I think indicates if you're not picking a low AR against Psyche, you're probably not super comfortable. Seen a lot of breaks from both players already, but the accuracy difference is stark in Zyntex, getting notably less misses. Because both players hitting that awkward aim section, and Zyntex with a nice lead here, but Treyarch, bit of a combo edge now, especially with that break.
Yeah, it is quite a big acc lead for Zyntex, but with how low both of their accuracies really are, it can flip at any moment. And there goes Zyntex again with a miss. So Treyarch with a huge combo lead now. We're already halfway through this map, by the way, incredibly short. So this 270 combo is a lot of combo, Morty. And there goes Zyntex multiple more times. 300 combo for Treyarch is huge. He's got a 50k lead, and that is going to skyrocket towards his side as Zyntex now tries to accrue a combo, but it just doesn't matter. Treyarch's FC'd over half the map.
Yeah, I mean, he had so many struggles at the beginning, but almost in a similar nature to that Nomad 5 against Psyche. He's just clutched up massive in the second part of the map, and now this lead is almost unlosable for him as there's barely any map left. And man, I think he's just, he's done it. A huge breakpoint here, I think. I mean, Zyntex now has the combo lead, but there's just barely any minutes.
Yeah, misread for Treyarch at the end, but it doesn't matter. Does get through. That's the hardest pattern on the map right there. Both players hit it. Yeah, break point again, back to back. I mean, Zyntex just looked more comfortable, obviously, on the accuracy, like you were saying. But Treyarch pulls out a miraculous combo. 570 OOK, he says. Probably a bit shocked at himself for getting that combo. It's close to an FC, I think. Like, basically, like, fumbles a bunch at the very start, misses at the end, and just FCs everything else towards the middle. So, very, very well done. Breakpoint right after Zintex's breakpoint. So now we're back to a clean slate.
Zyntex as well, not looking supremely comfortable on that pick. I think he probably mostly went for it, just thinking that Treyarch wasn't necessarily going to be able to play that great. And in terms of the accuracy, he was right. But obviously, that combo game, man, keeps the match evened up now. And that's just the magic of Seed 4 versus Seed 5. Just nothing but breakpoints all day, every day. I think it's such a cool thing with a matchup this close is it's really hard to find a pick because both players are going to be so good. As Treyarch goes for the Hard Rock 3, so picking the only remaining Hard Rock map that wasn't banned, I think it's a pretty good pick here. Now, obviously, Zyntex, we talked about, very good hard rock player, so it's not going to be free at all, but this awkward, rhythmic hard rock have to be very, very comfortable at the mod to have any chance of getting good combo and good accuracy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a interesting kind of setup we've had here to see a double ban by Zyntex on the hard rock and then his opponent's second pick hard rock into him. It's not something I would generally just expect to see against a player like Zyntex at all, but it's what we've got here today with this map pool. Treyarch feeling good on the remaining hard rock after Zyntex bans the other two. Polyrhythm. I would expect going into this, for starters, for this one to be very close, but I would expect an accuracy probably advantage for Zyntex throughout most of this map. I would expect him to be just more comfortable on the hard rock in general. But Treyarch obviously feeling comfortable on comboing it. So far, not going too well for him. Does get an early miss. And Zyntex off to a strong start.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the aim of both players, I was talking about this when we were watching 3WC. Zintex's aim, man, it just always looks so sharp, so snappy, and right now Treyarch's is looking a little bit wishy-washy. And on a map like this, you don't want that to be the case as he finds his second break. And we're already a third of the way into the map, and Zyntex is still full comboing. Big, I mean, not a big accuracy, but a decent one, especially on a map like this, very tough to act. Zyntex is just looking so comfortable right now. He can hold on for this combo a little bit longer. It's going to be tough for Treyarch to make a comeback here. And once again, this is his second pick here.
Yeah. I mean, it is brave. It is brave to even pick this mode into Zyntex. You got to be very confident. Clearly, because you can see him shredding this map. It's 97% almost, is nothing to scoff at. A map like this, as you were saying, incredibly hard to act something like this. 97 plus on this is incredibly impressive. And the combos building for both players. FC still on the board for Zyntex, halfway through the map here. Treyarch has managed to build up a recovery and a potential to swipe the map back if Zyntex does find a miss. But it's going to have to happen soon. 2/3 through the map now, and time is starting to run out. But Treyarch sort of pulled things together here. It's a 200k score lead, though, for Zyntex, which is just enormous.
Yeah, I mean, Treyarch, really well done on this recovery. He's dialed in from the intro, but it just doesn't matter if Zyntex keeps full comboing. And with only a quarter of the map left to go, that Zyntex miss is going to have to come soon if Treyarch wants there to be any chance of taking this back. But Zyntex, man, does find the miss. So now there's a chance here for Treyarch, potentially. He's still got a lot of score deficit. He's got over 200k to work for him, but maybe there's enough time. I don't know.
Oh, no, with that miss. I was about to say I think it would have required a few more misses from Zyntex as well. But, I mean, even then, maybe it wouldn't have been enough. Just barely back. Well, yeah, she's not too much of a lead. But, yeah, still 200k score here. So it wouldn't have maybe mattered in the end, but it would have been close. Zyntex is going to take that one fairly comfortably in the end. 200,000 score, almost. And, I mean, we've only seen breakpoints. There's 3 breakpoints back to back. I'm kind of hoping for a 4th now.
I'm just hoping for 10 consecutive breakpoints into a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
that's kind of my dream for a Seed 4 versus Seed 5 matchup. As Zyntex now still looking for the first pick of the match that doesn't lead to a breakpoint. As the Hard Rock 3, Treyarch ended up with a pretty good score in it, but that's just the risk of picking Hard Rocks into Zyntex. Ends up with a 700k as he goes with a double time 3. So first tapping map of the pool here as we go into 300 BPM speed. We saw a double FC from this map from the Box versus Osbert matchup. I doubt I'll see that again here. It's just crazy. It's like an 8.2 star map. It's obviously pretty comfortable if you're a speed player, but still just the mechanics required is up there.
Yeah, pretty comfortable, but that ending, some of those longer bursts in that ending, man, on 300 BPM, definitely nothing to get too comfortable with when you're there. When you're holding the FC, you can just randomly find a miss on one of those. They are pretty tough. But I would, early on in this map, midway through, you're hoping to see both these players hold those combos. Definitely, they're both very competent in playing something like this. Early struggles for Treyarch as he warms up into the 300 BPM. Should be fine as he adjusts to things. But yeah, I'm really looking at the ending of this map. I'm expecting big combos. And I have a feeling it's going to come down to that.
It might. And I think a map like this, Zyntex, very, very confident tapping player. Already winning the accuracy battle, but already won't matter. I was going to say, if this goes deep, it might be an act battle as both players miss now, and already some early breaks, and that reset will benefit Zyntex by that first miss as well. And both players just have to, cool down, relax in their nerves, and try to build up here.
Yeah, act lead for Zyntex as well, but it's not really much in it. Their combos are quite literally identical, by the way, down to the singular digit. So it really is just that accuracy right now that is going to benefit Zyntex by quite a large margin as well. 3% is a lot of accuracy, especially on a map like this. Halfway through now, we will start to approach the harder section, but there is still absolutely chance for either a player to take this. It is a lead that will begin to accrue more and more for Zyntex as we move forward, but could swap at any moment with a miss. And as I was saying, there is definitely many more opportunities to miss on this map, and we're 2/3 through now. And the map will start to pick up in difficulty shortly. Big act drops for Treyarch, but what's going to happen to this ending, Morty? I mean, this really could go either way at this point.
It will just come down to who misses if that miss happens. Otherwise, Zyntex will just win off his unbelievable act advantage. But
Here we go.
there we go, last quarter, man. Who will find that break?
Yeah, these longer bursts here start to come in, and there's Treyarch. He's going to fold on them. Zyntex holds. It just looked like struggle street for Treyarch. Hundreds back to back. Zyntex does just clean it up. Sweeps it up. 99% almost on the map. 1,000 combo. 1,100 coming in on it. And that is going to be a clean pick for Zyntex. Finally we get something that isn't a breakpoint.
And big win for Zyntex here. Not just for this pick, but that 93.91 from Treyarch. Suddenly, that No Mod 5 looking like a pretty good option coming out of this one. Obviously, it's a lot lower BPM, but I do think Zyntex has that big tapping advantage right now. Treyarch straight into the No Mod 3, doesn't even need to think about it. Obviously, I think these kinds of maps will probably benefit him more than some of the more mechanically intensive maps that, like the DT1. I think just staying away from the DT pool, staying away from those tapping picks, honestly doesn't leave you with much. You either have this, you have the Hiddens, and maybe No Mod 1. So that's most likely going to be where Treyarch's going to look.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good pick. But one thing is for sure, he needs this one very, very desperately. I mean, going down here 1-4 and then right to Zintex's pick, that is not going to be ideal for him. Doesn't mean he still doesn't have a chance in this match. I think every single map left up is winnable for both players still. Obviously, we favor Zyntex on that No Mod 5, especially after seeing the DT3. But as you mentioned, it's like 40, 50 BPM lower, so going to be considerably more comfortable to play for Treyarch, I would imagine. But we see this No Mod 3, so we're going to get some ult. Very, very consistent map here, as expected from most No Mod 3s, and a couple fairly difficult patterns, if I say so myself, in some of these parts in the map. Quite difficult to combo through. I think we saw an FC on this from Fox. Whoa.
Oh man, he early taps the note coming out of that short break. Just maybe rapid trigger difference, I don't know, then chain misses right after. Kind of losing it a little bit here as Zyntex looking clean on the intro. I was going to say, for the hard parts of the map, I was thinking about that one wiggle near the end, but
yeah,
might not matter as much as currently no big combos here. Zyntex breaks as well. Now Treyarch trying to rebuild here.
Yeah, miss from Zyntex, the lifeline for Treyarch after desperate measures in the intro, but now things are kind of evened up and he will start to pull that score back. Yeah, a couple tricky wiggles coming in here. A lot of control required on these cut patterns. Both players are handling it in the first PI, and as you mentioned, yeah, that big 1-2 wiggle towards the end. About 3/4 through the map, that is the scary part for both these players, but yeah, I mean, the spacing on some of these cut patterns is very brutal. You can really miss anywhere on this map. There is one reprieve, though, I think coming up shortly. So, yeah, here it is. It's going to favor Treyarch going into it with the combo advantage. He has 10k though, there is almost nothing in it. Ack lead on Zyntex, combo lead on Treyarch, pretty much cancelling it out, so we're going to be neck and neck going into the halfway point of the map.
Yeah, and I mean, Zyntex now is pretty much caught up. His combo isn't actually too far behind. Same thing for Treyarch's accuracy after that chain miss earlier on, but half of the map left here, and this is another situation we've been in a little bit before in this matchup. We'll come down to the next miss. I cannot envision either of these players carrying this combo to the end, or at least both players carrying to the end, with how hard the rest of the map is.
Yeah, it would be very, very impressive. But here we do go, getting into the next section. The map starts to pick up more difficulty. There goes Zyntex! And that's a big miss. Treyarch now, if he can hold on for a bit longer, we do have that big 1-2 wiggle section coming up. And if here it is, Treyarch hits it, pretty much consolidates it, does find a miss.
Missed right after.
Does find a miss. So there is 70k cushion here for Treyarch. Is there enough time for Zyntex in the last quarter of this map to pull it back?
I mean, very dense map. I think there is enough time, especially if Treyarch finds more struggles. So for Treyarch, it's going to be really important for him to keep it together. And now with that Zyntex miss, that pretty much gives him this point as long as he doesn't collapse in this ending.
Yeah, I think that should probably seal it up here for Treyarch. I don't know if there's enough in it for Zyntex to really come back. It would, as you said, require a bit of a collapse for Treyarch. Zyntex is pulling it back very slowly with the Ack lead, with a very small combo lead, but I think there's a sliver of the map remaining here, and it's 60k. Just no time. I think Treyarch has done what he's needed to do and secured this No Mod 3 pick, which was absolutely necessary going forward in this match. There it is.
Yeah, a must-need win for Treyarch after being down a break point and Zyntex converting on his own pick. This was a needed one, and he gets it. Very well done as well to recover after that unfortunate intro. I mean, early tapping and then chain missing, but he kept it together, hit that entire hard section, and it was enough to win. So now Zyntex, he still has that extra breakpoint over Treyarch. So as long as he just keeps winning his picks, he's going to be fine. That's going to be his mission statement going forward. You still have that No Mod 5, which he instantly picks. There we go. I think it's the most obvious pick after that DT3. Treyarch already saying he's cooked. Is that, you know, mind games or not? Who knows? We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. I really do think he has a shot on this one, though, but I suppose he's the player, not me, of course. But yeah, this is 256 BPM in comparison to the 300 BPM on the DT3. But of course, because of that, the burst is going to be a bit longer. And, you know, from what I know as Treyarch as a player, he does handle the longer, you know, streams better than he does shorter, really high BPM patterns. So, you know, he's looking okay out of the intro already. So we can see Zyntex with a very small act lead, but Treyarch's not looking too bad on these early streams.
Yeah, I completely agree. Nothing like the early struggles we saw in the DT3 where he was holding at the intro, but obviously getting some act drops. Still Zyntex act favored right now, but not by a lot, which will likely mean it can come down to a combo game. But, you know, this is the kind of map where a player like Zyntex could just FC it anyway, as Treyarch now finding some act struggles, and especially as some of the patterns get a little bit more spaced as well, you really don't want to have those tapping issues, but still a two-way for now.
Yeah, a bit of act drops here, Treyarch, but this one really could go either way, as both players are still holding their FC. And there goes Zyntex, as we were just saying that. There is hope for Treyarch. Says that he has no chance in before the map starts, but as you can see, it is now heavily Treyarch favored. This accuracy doesn't matter anymore. 2% act lead for Treyarch, but if he can just hold his combo, he just wins this by default. Still going in this quint section, and it looks like he's shaking a little bit, but is managing to hold the combo, and that's all that's going to matter. He's accruing a massive score lead, and it will continue to rise if he keeps holding. Zyntex trailing behind with this massive act lead, but it just won't matter, Woody.
Especially with that second miss from Zyntex, and that's the mind games right before you go into this No Mod 5. I'm cooked. What are you doing now? You're FCing! 3/4 into the map, still FCing, and I mean, yeah, now even if Treyarch misses right here, it's going to be pretty much impossible for Zyntex to come back, barring a tablet disconnection or, finger dislodgement. Treyarch is still just going. He's still full comboing. And despite all the 100s, it is a combo game after all. And yeah, really, really well done. And this will even us up.
It will. Treyarch shaking desperately in this ending, perhaps thinking that this is very close. Thankfully for him, it is not. This one is won, no matter what. It's a 250k score lead, and yeah, there it is. Another breakpoint needed for Treyarch, 3-3, and that I don't think that quite, I don't think I'm stating really quite how important that win is, because not only does Treyarch get the breakpoint on the tapping, which is great and all, but Zyntex kind of has no more speed to pick. So, like, he's finished off the speed picks here with a breakpoint, which is huge for him. 3-3 now. Zyntex doesn't have another one of those speed picks to rely on going forward in the match. It really is only the No More 2 if he wants to go towards more tapping, and I'm going to be real, Treyarch could definitely play the No More 2. So, this is now up in the air. 3-3. I'm feeling a tiebreaker, but I don't want to jinx it too much. This is looking very close. Where does Treyarch go here?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, because I don't think you want to pick the DTs. Maybe something like No Mod 1 if he's feeling tapping. Could be No Mod 2 if he wants to pick into stamina. But other than that, it's really a question of his locals on hitting a 1 or hitting a 3. They could either be decent or not, but I think those are kind of gambly. But he goes for the No Mod 2, so he's going to be the one to pick it. And I think that's fair. After Zyntex losing that on 1-5, I don't know if he'd want to go into this right away. And as you said, this is the tapping map. This is the BPM range that I think Treyarch is going to be the most comfortable at in this pool by far.
Yeah, I mean, even just like Treyarch is good on some tapping when it's like low enough BPM for him to sort of actually comfortably play. He's going to be very good on it. Like, he's number 4 overall on Skin Thief in qualifiers. So he's going to be fairly comfortable on this. I think this is a great pick. Zyntex should be good on a map like this as well, but like you said, like right after the No Mod 5 performance, yeah, go straight to this No Mod 2. I like it. He's still got the hiddens in the back pocket. Zyntex probably goes for the double times after this. I think it's panning out how we maybe would expect it. And here we go, No Mod 2. It's going to be a big one here for Treyarch to convert.
Yeah, I mean, with how close this match has been, don't want to necessarily lose another breakpoint here. I mean, he converted on the No Mod 3, so he has 1 point before, and this time accuracy's evened out in the opening. And obviously flowing is going to be the name of the game, especially once you pick up into those really very spaced streams that change their angles. You're just going in kind of figure 8 shapes. Those are going to be the real test.
Yeah. Something we didn't consider, actually, is like the one pick Treyarch did win was the No Mod 3, and that was very much like a lot of had stream aim elements in it with those cut patterns very, very spaced. Similarly aimed to some of the space streams in this map, and so we'll see if this pans out for him. I think it's a great pick. And both players are handling the earlier sections of this map quite well. Here's the first kind of harder space section. Getting into it, and there goes Treyarch, over-aims. Heavily over-aims that stream, and now Zyntex has a huge advantage going forward and a 1% ACK lead. But this map is fairly long. We're not even halfway yet, so there's still time for a recovery, but it's looking good for Zyntex now.
Man, it's rough. A lot of the times for some of the best flowing players in the game, the hardest part of a flowing map is just making sure you start off on the right note. And there, he just over-aimed at the start of that stream, and it doesn't matter how good your flow aim is if you miss the kind of aim going into it. As Zyntex still FCing past the halfway point now. Treyarch doing well in the recovery, but Zyntex, there's the break, and there's the chance he gives to Treyarch to have an opportunity to take this back, especially with that extra break from Zyntex and Treyarch as well with the accuracy lead. I think as long as he dials in on hitting the start of these streams, he's looking so good on the flow component.
Oh man, I just hope Treyarch didn't press tab on that very small reprieve there and see, because this is like one of the most nerve-wracking scorelines you could be at this point in the map. You're at the last quarter, and you know that the only way to win this is to continue to hold, and Zyntex misses again, gifting it to Treyarch. as he continues to go off. Almost 900 combo now. Does take the score lead back. There's the flicker. And getting up towards that 1000 combo, this is still throwable. Chain misses are possible on this map. It's only 40k, but he's going crazy on these space patterns, man. Some of them are so difficult to get through. And it looks like he might have just done it. 60k and building. I think he's got it, Morty.
I think he's done enough now. There's barely any map left. I think I saw a little bit of shake in his aim towards the end of the map, but it's not going to phase him. He's still holding on to this massive recovery. Now, it is just going to be that one mistake he made early on, but Zyntex couldn't hold on through the flow. Also, at 99.12%, I think, barring the misses, just unbelievable tapping consistency at this BPM.
Yeah. 15 100s. In comparison to Zintex's 40. So very, very good accuracy here for Treyarch. I think we saw an absolutely ridiculous score on this yesterday from Psyche. It was like a 99.8% FC or something. It was like 4 100s. Ridiculous. Something like that. But yeah, a great score coming in from Treyarch. Not a bad score from Zyntex either. Very needed though for Treyarch, because going into these DTs do worry a little bit for him. I think I favor Zyntex fairly heavily on something like this DT1. It's AR 10.5, but, you know, we can have the story of the No Mod 5 again. Treyarch can absolutely still win this and just combo it.
And a map like this is where we get into kind of scary territory for Zyntex. Now, you were up 3-1. You've now lost 3 picks in a row. And this is a must-win pick, and it's on a DT1, which I think for both of these players can play something like this completely fine. I think both of them have the capacity to FC it. It's most likely going to come down to the aim consistency, since the tapping never really gets that spaced or that straining. So when you're playing like a comfy, farmy DT1 against an opponent who can play it, this is where you really test it, because yes, I do on paper favor Zyntex here, especially in the accuracy if he goes for the full combo, but he's been struggling a couple times in the aim. So really want to keep your nerves here.
Yeah, and you can see they were both neck and neck until we saw a long burst, and Treyarch just dropped like 3% accuracy. So that might play a factor in this one as well. But there goes Zyntex. Oh no, not again! Loses the combo, and Treyarch with a massive act deficit is going to take the lead shortly and just continues to drop act, but has just been combo gaming today and looks to do it here again on the DT1. Zyntex needs to get it together. He's got the accuracy, he's got the consistency on his tapping, but just needs to hold together a combo. Treyarch will start to pull this lead over towards his side, almost halfway through this map now, and I mean, if Treyarch finds a miss, it is going to swing back to Zyntex very quickly with this act difference.
For sure, but Treyarch has done a good job so far in several of these picks, keeping a pretty good combo. And this kind of map, man, I don't think the tapping is going to be his issue. And if his aim is on point, he can just take this all the way. Does find the miss, though, I think towards the end of that burst. And now Zyntex has the opportunity here. Gets through that triangle jump, hitting that stream, drops a couple of 100s, but 50k behind, but he's going to quickly take that back here.
Yeah, and this is where, like, Treyarch would still be holding a comfortable lead if it wasn't for this big act difference. But Zyntex now pulls it back a lot quicker than you would expect. There it is. Oh my god, what a break time. 315
man.
Score. But Zyntex does know going forward he has a huge advantage in this final quarter. And, I mean, with the accuracy as well, this one looks very hard for Treyarch to pull back now. The score is firing over towards Zyntex, 50, 60k, and I think that's going to more than seal it up.
Yeah, I think it is over for this one, and the script has continued as Zyntex will take us 4-4. Going into the last 2 picks in a very close DT1, but just that one break from Zyntex that he's recovered very well from. Treyarch not too far behind him. And here we go into what is going to be Treyarch's last pick, and this is an important one. You really don't want to lose this one, as Zyntex gets a nice S rank there. Just a 1 miss from Treyarch.
Yeah, I was really looking old Treyarch. I don't even think he, like, missed because of the burst. Like, it looked like he just left, like, a quint early or something, like the last note. I don't even know. He, like, missed, like, the last note of the quint. It was just, like, a miss aim or something.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But yeah, was looking old Treyarch there for quite a while, but Zyntex pulls it back with the accuracy, the consistency, the nice S rank. And now we've got 4 maps left in the pool. Got Nomad 1, Hidden 3, DT4. So I think, obviously, if you're Treyarch here, I don't think... I mean, I don't want to say obviously. I was going to say obviously you don't go DT4, but like, he could. I don't think it's his best pick. I don't think it's his best pick at all. I think Hidden 3 is probably his best pick. But
honestly, though, you know, DT4, it's CS6, so it's leading into Precision. It's 10.3, which is going to be fine for him, and it has some aim control aspects, and on the aim control DT3 in qualifiers, he got the best score. So, the more I think about it, I kind of like this DT4 for him. I mean, the risk of it, right? The risk of it is you're picking a DT4 into Zyntex, who can also play it really well. But I think when you're in a situation like this, you just got to pick a map that you think you can do really well on. And it is going to be that DT4. I like this pick. I honestly think it's going to be his best pick here.
Yeah, I'll be real, like, not only does he go for this, like, if he can win this is huge, because he kind of forces Zyntex into a bit of a washing machine on his last pick. It's like, what do you go, Zyntex? You go Nomad 1, Hidden 1, or do you pick the Hidden Tech map into Treyarch? Like, what do you pick? What do you pick for your last pick, man? Because that's kind of a bit of that's a spot to be in for sure. So, DT4, if this does pan out well for Treyarch, I do kind of like it. And I think as you were talking about, it should be a close one no matter what, but yeah.
This would be a huge one either way, because you're putting your opponent in a position where they either have to win on aim or Ryusei gun, which will come down to slider ticks, accelerated flow streams on Hidden, and just some random gamble patterns. So really, really big point here for either player, who either could win it, but... And obviously, we talked about the precision aspect being good for Treyarch. Obviously, Zyntex going to be fine on the CS6 as well.
Yeah, I mean, both players are going to do well on this. Absolutely. It's kind of a map that you could also find random misses on, being CS6. They're both kind of handling these earlier sections fairly comfortably. The ACK lead in favor of Zyntex, as it has been kind of all match. But Treyarch has been really showing up on those combos. Quarter of the way through. Still early on. Still breezing through. A bit of a 50 from Treyarch. Almost slider breaks, but... let's hit it. Nerves here are going to be a big factor for both of these players. And there goes Treyarch. Does find the miss. As I was about to say, composure. Nerves are going to be so important moving into the ending of this match. Zyntex trades it back. And now, room for Treyarch to start pulling things back. But the ACK lead is in favor of Zyntex.
Yeah, I mean, even with Zyntex a tiny bit behind on that combo, he's going to have the lead staying on his side, assuming neither player finds any misses. And with this map, you already have, a lot of cut doubles thrown in between, which with the BPM and the circle size is quite easy to miss on. There's one particular aim control pattern I'm thinking of that's going to be right at the bottom of the map. And I imagine that's going to be a pattern that'll kill at least one of these combos. And so right now, both players have done a very good job recovering.
Yeah, and the accuracy is closing in a little bit as well. Those cut doubles there look scary. Treyarch misses right after it, actually. Zyntex now with a combo and was already in the lead. Only 1/3 of this map left. This one might already be over. It's flying towards Zyntex. Treyarch misses again. And that might be done. Might be sealed up. 500 combo and climbing, and this is already a 100k score lead almost with a quarter of the map left. I just don't think there's anything left in it here for Treyarch.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough time, especially with Zyntex still holding. He'd have to miss right now, and even then, I don't know if Treyarch could take it back. Ends up hitting the pattern I was talking about earlier, and man, on this DT4, I mean, I still think it was a decent pick, but obviously the risk was Zyntex putting up a performance like this, as he went to wiggle that pattern.
What?
He should have just done what Box did and just aimed the center, but no, he wanted the style points. I mean, it's not gonna matter, but imagine if that was the difference maker.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like aura points for wiggling that though. I don't know, man. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's such a hard pattern to hit if you wiggle it. Like what? What is the point?
Plus 20 rep as Treyarch with the heartbreaking 0 miss S rank, just getting a couple of slider breaks. And there we go. Zyntex is now up 5-4 as he's going for his last pick here. And I mean, saying it's his pick, but I don't really think there's a real pick here that's going to be a clear cut for either player.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters that it's Zintex's pick, like we were saying before, you know. The only real, like, skill set you have left to pick if you want to go for something kind of unconventional is Hidden 3, which does not favor really either of these plays. I mean, if anything, I think I slightly favor treyarch on the Hidden 3. But then you've just got aim. So, you know, do you want to go generic massive aim, or do you want to go slightly smaller aim, but a little more awkward with some anti-aim patterns and a bit of linear aim in there? I mean, it's really up to you. I don't think he picks Hidden 3. I would be very surprised. Do you go no mode 1 or do you go Hidden 1? I think it's just how he's feeling. I think I would maybe expect a no mode 1 here, but I don't know. It really could be either.
Zyntex going to hit the timeout as he will deliberate longer in this pick, and I think it's fair. So kind of a... Okay, I don't know what's going on in chat. All right, dude. But, you know, treyarch as well had the 2nd overall on the Hidden 1 in qualifiers and got 8th overall in the Hidden 3, just really the low AR Hidden that he had a tough time on. Given that, like, I don't know if you want to pick the Hiddens, but then no mode 1, I mean, Zyntex didn't have the best time in the no mode 1 either, got 11th overall versus treyarch's 5th. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what you pick here, man. This is the kind of pick you wish you had you had knowledge of all the timelines, but he goes for the Hidden 1.
Does go for the Hidden 1, and yeah, I was just checking qualifier results as well. treyarch was favored on both the no mode 1 and the Hidden 1. Number 2 overall on the Hidden 1 as well. I believe, yeah, number 2 on the Hidden 1 overall from treyarch, but you know, Zyntex as well, playing both of the maps still fairly comfortably. Sometimes at the end of the day, aim maps do just come down to what you miss on randomly on the day, and that absolutely can happen in a tournament match too. You can kind of just miss on any sort of aim pattern. And here we go. It's going to be the Hidden 1. So, I mean, yeah, it was this or no mod 1. I think Hidden 3 would have thrown me for a curveball. But...
Oh, and Hidden having to win a Hidden 3 for tiebreaker or not, dude, just the nerve check on that might have been a factor, you know, in and of itself. But treyarch asking, wasn't DTT free? He did ban DT2, so maybe forgetting his own bans. But here we go, Hidden 1 to either seal it for Zyntex or take us to a tiebreaker. And this is going to be a test of some awkward, dense, hidden aim. A couple perfect stacks here, but once again, the perfect stacks, it's either just triples or doubles off slider end, so really no memory element here at all.
Yeah, and I think, like to be quite honest, I do think on the final 3 maps of the pool, I slightly favored treyarch on all 3 of them, like very, very slightly. And the same goes for this Hidden 1. So we'll see. I say that and immediately curse him because he misses, but fairly long map. We'll see. Zyntex could still absolutely pull any of these points out of the bag on any of those maps. It's going to be very close regardless. And early on, he will have the advantage, but not expecting an FC on this one, so that could change at any moment.
For sure, especially once we get into the big aim of this map. treyarch recovering nicely. Here we go, into the first Ki. Zyntex still holding that full combo, and if he can extend this far, it's gonna do a lot for him. As treyarch finds a miss on that big first, real tough aim section, and Zyntex holds through it. That's gonna do so much work for him.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, more than on paper favoring or whatever statistics you look at, I think really what it's going to come down to here on this map is composure, is nerve control, is match point for Zyntex, 1 off the tiebreaker for treyarch. Really, you've got to hold it together. And so far, Zyntex is doing a better job of that. treyarch starts to accrue this recovery to approach that halfway point, but Zyntex, he will just have this in the bag if he continues to hold it. He doesn't. Finds a miss there on the tail end of that aim pattern. And now treyarch will slowly start to pull this back. Is the script in our favor today? 75k in the lead for Zyntex, and treyarch with an opportunity to show us the tiebreaker finds the miss, but there is still time.
There's still a lot of map left, especially with that extra break from Zyntex, but it's still 70k favor to his name, so a lot of work treyarch has to do here if he wants to take us to tiebreaker. will likely require another Zyntex miss at some point, and Treyarch holding on to near the end. It's still a lot to ask for, but it's possible.
Absolutely is possible. How much are the OSU tournament gods favoring us today? We will find out in the final quarter of this map. Zyntex misses, so the door swings wide open for Treyarch. 300 combo and climbing. He cannot miss though. 45k in the lead for Zyntex. Treyarch has to hold this combo in the hardest sections of the map. High velocity cross-screen sliders. Zyntex misses again. Could we be seeing it? Less than a quarter of the map left. Treyarch has to clutch up. The clutch gene needs to be going through his veins right now. He's holding 15k. He finds the miss. Not at the ending, Morty. Is it gonna be it? Is this how we see the ending?
Heartbreak, he was almost there. Zyntex does find a miss, but there's barely any map left, and I think, especially with that extra miss from Treyarch, it almost happened. He almost managed to absolutely clutch that one up, but Zyntex just too strong in that intro, too many early breaks, and Zyntex will take this one 3 maps in a row, winning it 6-4 and moving on, but man, really, really hard and well fought by Treyarch.
That's heartbreaking, man. There would have been no better way to close off this banger match than with a tiebreaker. So close. Treyarch had it, man. He had to hold through like the hardest section of the map, though, so you can't fault him for missing. But man, was that close in the ending. Zyntex takes it by the skin of his teeth in a 6-4. Wow, what a close match. I want to say as well, like, you know, on the pick'ems, Treyarch had 17% on his picks, which surprised me to see because I know that this was for sure as hell much closer than that. And it delivered. That was 6-4, very well could have been a tiebreaker, but regardless, Zyntex does move on in the upper bracket, and Treyarch is going to be a extremely frightening opponent in that lower bracket. Dare I say, the scariest down in the lower bracket at the moment. But yeah, big congrats there to Zyntex. We'll be moving on in that upper bracket, and he will be going up against a secret box in the semifinals. So that is your reward.
Yep, enjoy that reward. That should be a fantastic match. And Treyarch will go down to verse the winner of Sayo Superior, which is going to be the last matchup of the weekend, which we'll see later tonight. But yeah, those are going to be the brackets, and I think we do have a match coming up still later on. It's going to be 12 UTC. So I think about 5 hours from now, we'll have that one. That's going to be Pala versus Cloppet, so another winner's bracket matchup. And another matchup I'm super excited for. I think that's like, on paper going into this weekend was my second matchup of the week behind this one we just saw. So stay tuned for that, and then an hour after that matchup is going to be Sayo versus Superior.
Yeah, this is another match I'm excited for. I think all the matches today are good. So yeah, make sure you're here later. There should be some heaters in store for you, but that's been us for now. We'll see you guys at 12 UTC, and take care.